legs, which is His Highness the Father Amir's Prix, and someone really dominating the tour is Scott Brash. Scott has done something quite extraordinary. He's done the double-double.
Absolutely.
Can you explain that?
No, it's been incredible. Scott's been on incredible form. He's won 2 5-star Grand Prix and 2 3-star Grand Prix in the space of 14 days. That's almost unprecedented to win that many Grand Prix in such a short time frame. And he's also been on great form. He picked up a second in the first 4-star Grand Prix just behind Harry Charles, and he continued his great form yesterday with the second to Max Kuna in the 150 5-star class.
And we've seen some fantastic show jumping already this week, because yesterday, like you say, we saw Scott Brash. Who's going to beat Scott Brash? I mean, how is it going to happen?
I think they're going to have to be a really good performance. I mean, Max yesterday had as good a jump-off round you could get. He was so smooth everywhere. He took nothing to chance to get that time as tight as possible, and you're going to have to see performances like that to beat Scott. There are some great riders here. Abdel Saeed comes to mind, and there are plenty of people who can win the 5-star Grand Prix here, but it's going to have to take a great performance to beat Scott when he's on form like this.
Well, we're really lucky because we are right in the heart of it here, and behind us was where the action took place yesterday, the Longines Arena. And actually today, as much as it's sunny, there is a bit of wind, so bear with us. But let's go back to yesterday's action, because there was someone else who is on flying form, Kristen van der Veen from America. She had 3 wins yesterday and won one of the 5-stars.
Absolutely, she put in some really good performances. Her round in the first 5-star class to open off the week was absolutely superb. Beat them by nearly a second, and it was so smooth, and you can see why she's on great form.
Lovely turn back, keeps hold of the outside rein. Great stride to this vertical.
We're in contention, we're very much in contention. She leaves the last one standing. A good 2 seconds taken off the leading time, 28.08. Kristen van der Veen for the United States of America in pole position once again.
Well, we're delighted to be joined by Kristen. Kristen, congratulations, you've had a terrific first day of sport here. Can you talk me through your successes from yesterday?
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, it's been very exciting for us. It's our first time here. And yesterday I got to jump a lot of young horses and my main horse. So we had a great day. My 8-year-olds did well. They won in the 3-star, and then carried on to my new horse. That's an exciting new project for me that won in the 5-star opener.
And tell me how many horses you've got out here.
Yeah, I brought 9 horses here. I have some clients that came with me. Everybody's pretty excited to see what's going on out here. We've heard big things, and the schedule's exciting, so here we are.
And in terms of the tour, it runs from the beginning of January all the way through to the 4th of April. What part of it are you doing?
We're excited to be doing all of it. We were 2 weeks late coming into it, but we're planning on staying till the end through April, and off to a good start.
And your family are doing the same?
As Ollie's, he's here to the end, but we see you jump a lot in the American circuit. How come you've come to Qatar and brought the horses out here?
Yeah, absolutely. The schedule out here, like I said, is really intriguing to me. We're having these 5-star, 3-star, 1-star where my clients can show and I can still jump top level sport. Made it really interesting to come all the way out here, because at home I need to split my shows up and go between this Wellington Winter Equestrian Festival and Ocala circuit, which is a lot of traveling and moving pieces for me. So out here, it's just an unbelievable schedule and opportunity with the prize money, the points, and obviously the cultural experience as well.
How are you finding Doha and this incredible arena behind us?
It's unbelievable. The ring is so special to ride in. The support here, my student actually won the 1-star Grand Prix last week, and it was fun. The crowd was into it, and very welcoming and fun atmosphere for us.
Well, thank you so much. We'll be watching you intently today as well. And support is a big thing, because your family are here in full force.
Absolutely. They're here. Ollie's jumping, and he's been picking up some really good results, and parents are here as well, so no, it's a family affair.
And that family affair, we got to meet your brother alongside you a little earlier.
Hi, I'm Will Fletcher, professional show jumper, and I'm here with my brother Oliver Fletcher. I'm here for 2 to 3 months. We got here just before New Year's and planning to stay until the middle of March. Let's say the pair of us we've been jumping before we could even walk or run, stand on our own 2 feet. Mum and Dad both jumped at Olympic level of the sport, so I mean I would say that we had no choice, but we also wouldn't swap it for the world. Mainly I remember watching my mum jump, and one of the the best memories I have is her winning the derby at Hicksted, which was fantastic. And I remember we both cheering and watching her win and falling over the seats when she jumped that clear, which
spilling chocolate fondue strawberries all down yourself.
That's the thing I was most concerned about, but things like that, and then winning the Nations Cup there, we're all there watching, supporting, and it's those memories that you always stick with you.
It's amazing. I mean, we're so lucky to have 2 parents involved in the sport, helping us and pushing us. They're also amazing. They let you do your own thing as well a little bit, try and strengthen up your own business. They wouldn't be afraid to let you take a leap in a different direction to them. They're honestly amazing. They just want the best for us in whichever way that would be. I have 5 horses here. Casanova is a new horse, black 10-year-old gelding. Silke Schreiber owns 3 of my horses here. This is the newest edition. I'm really looking forward. He'll be making his 5-star Grand Prix debut this week. I think I'm very lucky. I've got owners and sponsors that understand the sport and are lucky enough to have trust in myself and my parents and our family on what we think. So for the moment, it's getting to know him and building a new partnership. I'm very impressed how quick he learns and adapts to my riding. Winning the 2-star Grand Prix on the first week, that was a really nice start with KASS, owned by Alison Walton. She also has Pocahontas here. He was placed in the 4-star Grand Prix. She was placed in a 5-star class last week. All of the horses are coming together really nicely, so hopefully it's the start of an exciting tour and an even better season.
It's great, we're all a team, we all support each other, and we always want each of us to do really well, and it's such a hard sport to do well in, so there's no point making it difficult between anyone. You just want to support and give as much advice as possible.
It's a lovely atmosphere we have actually between the family. There's no rivalry at all. Even for example, when I was lucky enough to win the Europeans a couple of years ago, first person to ring, Will was at Chad at the international show there, and he couldn't even string a sentence together. He was crying so much down the phone. So it means as much to either of us and our parents, the whole family, the team around us. It's a lovely atmosphere.
Watching live when things go well, it's great. When the Globals happened and it was 4th in the Grand Prix, that was a great thing. And it's just those live moments when it all comes together, because those moments are rare in this sport. It's different winners every time unless you're Scott Brash, and when you get those really big moments, it's great to all enjoy it together. You come out to shows like this, and this is what the sport's about, is amazing arenas, great facilities, big jumps and good prize money. It's what we all want to do. It's what every single day you work to get to this level and get to jump at these shows. So yeah, as soon as I can get back to this level, I'll be delighted.
Well, that is pretty special, seeing you with your brother there, and being athletes to go around the world. It must be so nice to have your family on events.
Absolutely, and we're here supporting my brother this week, doing a great job over the past few weeks. It's nice we're all together, and when we're out and we're competing all over the world, we have our parents there that we can look to, who can give great insight and support and point you in the right direction. And it's what it's all about, the family coming together and really helping each other to try and get as far as we can in the sport.
And the thing that's really special about Alshaqab is it's an equestrian hub, and it's not just about the elite riders that come here. It's also very importantly about the national riders. Why is it such a hub, and why is it so important for them to be here?
It's a great thing to have so many weeks of top class international competition where the national riders can see the top world professionals and compete with them, and they are doing a great job. They've been picking up some great results, and it's that experience and the more availability of these classes they can do is going to send them right up the rankings, get into some great shows and keep that going throughout the year.
Well, the rise of show jumping in Qatar is incredible, and we got to meet one of their riders.
I have 4 horses with me here. The main one was Nan Karmensky. Last week we stepped up to jump the 5-star Grand Prix. It was a good experience for me and for him. Then I have the main horse, which I just got a new one. This is my 4th show with him. Was Nan Quattro, and I believe he's going to be my main horse in the future. Then I have my 2 speed horses with Nan Cabella. Last week I won with her the 140 class, and I have the other speed mare with Nan Quality Street, which always she's a fighter for me, and always we are placing in the 145 and 150 classes. That's mean a lot to have the show at our home country, especially like when it's the main day and everyone like supporting us. We feel proud to have these kind of shows in our country, and I hope we can achieve the result we are looking for. It's a nice pressure, to be honest, when you have your friends and your family coming to watch and they are supporting you. This is really like nice emotional stress and pressure to have it from everyone around you. To be honest, lately the sport tourism in Qatar is getting more and more. Like if we see the golf, if we see the tennis, football, we are going in the right direction for the government supporting every athletes in Qatar to go more and more on the top level. And I have to appreciate that, and we have to thank the government for supporting any athletes in Doha to get in that top level. Waznan team started first with racing horses, and since 1 year ago we started with jumping. And to be honest, I can say we started big directly. We started with really big names riders like Basim Muhammad and Abdul Saeed. So we have really big names with us in the team, and the main target for our team to go to the Olympic Games, and I believe we are in the right direction for it. Last year we had 6 weeks of shows, let's say 6 shows actually. This year we had 10 shows, and the difference between this year and the years before, we have overall leader points, and I believe that's a bit of a challenge for all the riders to keep going and keep that results always in top form to get the highest point, and then you can win as a leader rider. For any athletes to go to the Olympic Games, it's the biggest dream in any athlete's career. So I was 5th in Rio, so I hope this time I can be the main rider for the country in the next Olympic Games.
Well, big dreams there, and the Olympic dream, it's the one, isn't it? And when you think of Alshaqab, it's not just about preserving that heritage of the equestrian history in Qatar. It's also about the future, and what a place to inspire those Olympic dreams. You've got world-class facilities, haven't you?
Absolutely, as you say, it's completely world-class. These facilities here are the best places for the riders to keep gaining so much experience to make those Olympic dreams become a reality.
And you're rubbing shoulders with Olympians.
Absolutely, there's so many Olympians here, including 2 of the reigning team gold medalists.
And those are?
Harry Charles and Scott Brash.
Who we are talking about because they are on the rankings. And we have spoken a little bit yesterday with Harry Charles, but his wife Eve Jobs, she's right up there too.
My name is Eve Jobs, and I'm here competing at the Doha Tour. I brought Canto Bruno as my main horse to jump the Grand Prix. High Point VDL is jumping some of the 3 stars, and maybe we'll move up to jump some of the second classes in the 5-star, and then Canandillo to jump some of the speeds. It's my first time in Doha, and everyone's been incredible. The stabling's amazing, the ring's amazing, the prize money is also a big additive. And we had just heard so many good things that we decided to come. It's always nice to try something new. And when a beautiful tour like this comes up on the calendar, I mean, we were just really excited to give it a try. I'm very lucky. I'm 2nd overall in the rankings right now. I didn't really foresee that, but my horse is in great shape and he's been jumping amazing. So I'm really pleased. It feels fantastic. Yeah, I mean, Scott's someone that I look up to a lot, and I think a lot of people do, and he's been absolutely killing it. So I'm very, very honored to be even remotely close to where he is. I remember watching him win the Grand Slam on TV and just thinking, God, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. My husband actually influences me a lot because we work together kind of on a daily basis, and just to see the way that he operates and everything, it's amazing. And yeah, I'm really happy to be where I am and have my horses jumping as good as they are. We're really lucky that we're able to do the sport that we love together and to kind of bounce ideas off each other, and I get to watch the way he works, which is really nice, and it's very helpful to me.
Eve's been amazing. She's been clear in every Grand Prix. It's not a surprise to me that she's second. She's been working so hard, riding I think better and better, and she's got such an amazing partnership with Bruno. It's so well deserved, that's all I can say. Not a surprise to me. I'm actually happy she's ahead of me. She really does deserve it. You know, she's going to keep on jumping clears and winning plenty more classes. She's super talented, works so hard, and she really loves her horses and they love her back. So it's great to watch, and she's been a great addition to our team and integrated so well. I'm very lucky to have her.
We have a great dynamic because if I have a question that I want him to look at, or a round that I want him to look at, he's happy to do that, and we kind of do talk about it. But then it's also nice if you want to just kind of relax and get away. We also have a nice life outside of the horses, so it's a nice balance.
When she gets in the ring, she's ice cold. You know, she's not my wife when she goes in the ring. She's someone who wants to beat me, which is a great mindset and something I really admire about her.
As competitors, you always want to win, but it's really nice to have him and also Sienna in all the classes, because if I don't win, at least one of them can. And so it's still kind of, we're all a team, so if one of us wins, it feels like everybody does, which is also really nice.
Well, it's really special there to meet Eve Jobs and Harry Charles, husband and wife duo, right chasing the tails of Scott Brash in the rankings. And we're getting closer now. The stage is set and Will is down on the course walk with Philippe Lejeune.
Off we go, ready for the course walk of this 1m55 jumping competition with jump off. Will Fletcher, good afternoon. Welcome back in Doha after this short moment in the studio. We're getting ready for the course walk. What do you think about your general view before we start?
It's very good competition. The course builder set up a hard course. There's definitely a few testing parts, and we'll have a little look round.
We start this competition with vertical number 1. Is it easier to start on a vertical or oxer? What do you think?
I prefer an oxer, personally. It's quite a tall vertical to start, and it's just very easy for the horse not to be completely concentrated to start. Can easily lay a toe on that, and you're over before you start.
Could we say that with this vertical, with this filling, it's a bit more massive? It's maybe not that complicated to start on this one.
No, not so bad. They give a nice, easy start. You jump number 1, hopefully the horse is awake, and you come round to number 2. It's a little bit wide, but not too high to start before we look down to the double, which is the first big test of this course.
So, short turn to fence number 2. We think about also the speed of the competition, 375 meters per minute, so you need to go too far away out of your turn. And then we measure that distance to the first combination, who's coming up quite early. 3A, 3B, vertical oxer, and with those quite delicate colors. So what do we have here?
I say for me, it's a little bit of an inside 8. But you could, if the horse doesn't have so much of a big stride, go outside on the 9, but you have to see what the time allowed is like. It's quite tall coming in, you don't want to be too quick, and it's very square coming out. So there is an option there to do one or the other.
Perfect. Following 3A, we have actually a quite massive oxer who's wide enough.
Absolutely, on one stride, it all depends on your approach into this double. You have the oxer coming out. It is very tall. It's square. You want to, as a rider, you want to sit up and make sure you don't push them too much because it's very easy to touch that front bar.
After this, we go on to fence number 4. There we got some more space here. So maybe here important to keep the rhythm. To of course think about the time allowed.
Absolutely. This is a place where you can move on. Hopefully take a little bit of a stride out or keep up your tempo. You come to this oxer. It's a little bit narrower than the other fences. Again, a very light material. You're by the in-gate. Horses can sometimes hang, but they have been here for a few weeks, so hopefully that's not so much of a problem.
We follow up after with fence number 5, and I think this could be a delicate line. It's slightly broken to the inside on left. It's important, I think, to open up, to stay straight and in the middle, or not?
Absolutely. I mean, we'll see on how many strides it is for the horse. But yeah, of course, you want to make sure that you can keep straight. It's a very tall vertical, this one. Water tray underneath, we've seen that been a little bit of a problem here this week. But yeah, so they just got to keep outside here, keep straight, and then give yourself as much time as you can coming back to this double.
And that's one of the tall verticals here, huh?
Absolutely.
We follow on, left-hand turn, and we get our second combination. 6A, 6B, and this time we get an oxer to get in.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit different from fence 3. Quite wide coming in. They'll need to use the corner, get plenty of canter around here, keep the revs up in the middle here, and then support them a little bit for the vertical coming out.
Those 2 strides will be slightly short. After this, tight turn, and we go to one of the most delicate fences in this competition, those little planks. Wavy planks, fence number 7.
Yes, and this fence, as you say, is very delicate. There's a lot of gaps in between. There's a lot of gap in between the floor and the last plank here. And that gives the horses something a little bit to look into. And when it's quite so light, quite so delicate, it's very easy for the horses just to touch that one off.
Following this delicate fence, we've got something more massive coming up, fence number 8 on a straight line, and then we follow straight away to the combination 9A, 9B. So I think it will be important to keep a nice balance here, to have also the correct distance on fence number 8 to follow on to the combination.
Yeah, absolutely. It's 5 strides down there, just normal in the hand. It's a little bit ascending this fence, but you've just got to keep here. You've got the double verticals there, which looks very tall. When you're jumping with the fence here, you've got to make sure that the horses keep straight. They jump there, jump the oxer, keep straight, so that you can get to this double of verticals a little bit easier.
Let's go and walk the distance now to the double of verticals. If I'm correct, when we have double of verticals, always delicate. You need to pay attention to the first fence and then let your horse jump with the correct balance on the second element.
Absolutely, and it's very important for a double of verticals, what the distance is and how you approach it.
As you can see also, Peter Schumacher is using the complete arena. We go from one end to the other. As we arrive here on fence number 9A with how many strides?
As for me, it's a 7. If you keep straight, keep a little bit outside. You don't want them coming a little bit inside, but you also want to make sure the horse is balanced back on their hocks and give them as much time as possible to set up and jump the vertical coming in.
We land from the combination left hand, and actually it's a quite short turn, so I think it's Is it important to keep the rhythm to go on that oxer?
Absolutely, and it is completely what the time allowed is. You'll see the riders, if it is a tight time allowed, we'll see after the first couple, that is the benefit of being later in the class, but you see how tight they can turn back to this oxer, and also with a left-handed turn to the next oxer, you don't want to be landing so far right-handed here.
We get a line here with 11 and 12 on the center of the arena. Could this be more delicate, because that fence looks a bit like in the middle of nowhere, and actually you still need to pay attention to that one?
Absolutely, there are bit wide poles here, but again, the Peter Schumacher has left the bottom poles a little bit higher than normal, and I always think it's quite hard for the horses to judge sometimes. So it's they've got to keep a lot of attention onto this fence before a very tall vertical again.
We get a look at the number of strides here from 11 to 12. And of course, you notice that number 11 is, as Will said, really delicate, more empty, and this one has a bit more of filler, it's a bit more massive.
A little bit, yes, and it's a tall vertical, it's a very, very short 4 for me. Maybe you'll see a 3, but I don't think so. It is very, very short, so as a rider, you'll have to come to the oxer before, land and really set up and make sure that you're right for this vertical.
A few horses will be maybe started to be tired at this point of the course, and I think the riders need to pay attention now to keep the right energy to go to the last fence of this competition.
Absolutely. You have a very big oxer here to finish. Some horses might think they already have finished, so you've got to, as a rider, keep yourself up together, keep your leg on, keep the connection, make sure you hold on to the outside rein. You come up to this big oxer here and make sure you keep the motivation to get to the back bar.
What makes this oxer special about the filling? We have a top plank there on the front pole. What do you think about that one?
It's a careful obstacle. The horses, after a long way round, have to keep their concentration. A plank there does make it more difficult, but hopefully the riders will be able to keep it together and jump it, hopefully, as a normal oxer to finish.
So what do you think now about the general level of this competition? Know that we are on Friday, tomorrow it's Grand Prix Day, so maybe not all the riders are riding their top horse into this competition.
Yes, yeah, definitely. It's not always the top horses here, but they have some really good horses. You don't get to this level without having a big string of horses that can all jump at absolute top level. So you'll look down the start list and you'll see some very good names and very good combinations.
31 riders announced. You make a guess on how many clears?
I'd say around 6 for me.
Let's go for 6. Perfect. That's how we round up this course walk. Wish you, of course, a great moment of sport, and see you later for the jump-off competition on a height of 1.55 meters.
Thank you to Philippe. Thank you to Will for the For 3 weeks, we have watched the world's elite fight for every point. But tonight, the conversation changes. Tonight, it's about the podium, the prestige, and a staggering €165,000 of a prize fund. The course standing before you is 1.55 meters of pure technical interrogation. At this height, the margin for error is non-existent. It's a puzzle designed by the world's best to test the absolute limit of scope, agility, and most importantly, the unspoken bond between horse and rider. The first round is a cold, calculated exercise in precision. You cannot win the class here, but you can certainly lose it. If you do not have the ability to navigate the gaps and clear the poles, the world is right before you here in this arena. The strategy shifts from survival to a sprint in the jump off, The heartbeat of this arena will sync with the rhythm of the gallop, and with every millisecond that defines a legacy in the jump off. Well, I look at some of the titans that have stepped into this ring to settle the score. The leaderboard for the tour has been dominated by Scott Brash, a man who defines cool under pressure and is currently sitting at the top of those standings, looking to slam the door on the competition. That will be done tomorrow night in the Grand Prix. But he has been hunted with the likes of the powerhouse Max Kuhner. That wonderful performance last night. We have the speed of Abdel Said and the precision of some of the French riders, or even the home riders here in Qatar. Stars like Bassem Mohammed, or some of the Qatari riders, will carry the hopes of the home crowd on their shoulders. The Argos riders are some of the world's best equestrian tacticians. As the sun finally starts slipping away and the floodlights will come on here in the Longines Arena, take a moment to appreciate the sheer athleticism about to unfold. These horses are the finest equine animals on the planet. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 5-star 1m55 jump off. Let the battle begin for what will only be a prelude to 2 wonderful Grand Prix here tomorrow. Well, a pleasure to join me in the commentary box after running up the stairs. Back with me, Will Fletcher. Will, we've heard you talk about the course down there, but just fill us in with how you think generally the course will go.
I think it's a very good course. There's plenty of obstacles that are going to be very difficult for the riders to navigate. A couple of hard doubles, all different things. Fence 3 is going to be a little bit difficult, but anyway, it's good to start with Abdel. He's been on some great form, and this horse jumped a very, very good round yesterday.
Well, €165,000 of a prize fund. The winner will walk away with just under 55,000 of that. 32 starts and 20 nations represented with this Olympian riding gelding Wathan Calvaro. He did the Doha double with the Longines Global Championship Grand Prix. Multiple FEI World Cup wins, including 5-star wins in Doha and Verona. He's a World Equestrian Games participant and a Pan-Arab Games participant. Abdel Said, Wathan Calvaro as our pathfinder.
Notice that this horse jumped a very good round yesterday in preparation for this class. Only a 10-year-old, but looks like it has plenty of scope, and he's navigated the first half of the course very nicely. Jumps that plank, gets the extra stride up there, and unfortunately the front bar of that water tray comes down. As always, very hard to go first in a big class like this, but it'll be good for the riders coming in to see what the time allowed is like.
Well, over the time allowed there as well, the clock stops at 78.71, so that means 4 for jumping, 1 for time. Not a bad start, Will, in fact, for Abdel Said as the pathfinder here.
Definitely, it was a very good round. The horse jumped super. 10-year-old at this level is obviously in January, so just be 10. Had a little bit of an extra stride, in my opinion, up to the fence it had down, which would be interesting to see if the others follow suit, and maybe that was again a reason to have a time fault. But Abdel's not one known for picking up time faults, so that's definitely going to be something for the riders to keep in their minds.
Yeah, our time allowed set here is 78 seconds. Our course design team led by Peter Schumacher, with next Roberto Privitali. Quinarius, this stallion is on course, but knocks down there, fence 3A, and this is another Doha specialist. He knows all about winning here, but the standard and the challenge in this jump off class is really, really high.
Yeah, and definitely that fence number 3. It's a big contrast to the first 2 jumps. It's very tall going in. The oxer out is very square. You've got to be very careful about that, and unfortunately for Roberto it took a casualty there, but there the 5 strides up to the oxer.
Works out well for him.
And then a short 7. And I think for most riders, I think that would be the way, but you'd have to keep a little bit on the outside just to make sure the 7's a bit more in your hand and you have a bit more space going into that double of verticals. This horse has jumped a really good round, other than the fence he had down early on the course.
Well, over the finish line there, and the time of 74.89. No issues with time there, but one knockdown at that vertical, the first double or first combination on the course. Well, that catches Roberto Privitali. There's a jump off class, so equality of penalties will be invited back in for that jump off. Normally 9 times out of 10 that's the clear rounds, but in the very, very rare occasions we invite the 4 faulters or whatever it may be. As we continue to the 3rd partnership, he's a 4-time Hungarian champion and the World Equestrian Games participant back in 2018. Blazes Hrvat and Cornetto de Luz PS. Well, this is an 11-year-old stallion. The 3rd to go. Will he provide the first clear? Goes for Hungary.
Starts off nicely over the first 2 fence. Gives the horse a lot of time coming into that double and rode that very well. Had the big oxer on the in-gate. It is a little bit narrower than the rest of the fences. I do think that does make it a bit more difficult for the horses. You've got the big wings. It's a narrow thing. Sometimes they get a little bit ground bound at that, and it's a shame. The horse is jumping very well and just rubbed that front palm. Gets that short 7 nicely to that double. Everything else has been very good. Can he get it home just on the 4?
Well, again, that penultimate fence is one of those narrower poles being selected by the course designer. It's 2 down, but a really quick pace there for Balas Horvat for Hungary, 74.98, 8 false. It's by using things like that, well, the shorter poles, the quick turn, just even that 3 to 4 line, but that fence, you only really have 3 strides when you go around the corner, and placing that at the pocket. Like, these are all the little challenges that Peter Schumacher knows he has placed purposely out there.
Absolutely. He's been part of the course design team for a bit, and to have that oxer there, you have to sort of swing round the plank. Coming to that, it is a hard oxer to jump, and he knows what to do. Different materials, different fences, just changes it up a little bit different for the horses, just to throw them off their scent a little bit.
Well, that man on your screens, that is the brother of Will here, Ollie Fletcher, as you hopefully seen in our little VT before the competition. Well, he rides BP Pocahontas, this Irish sport horse, and is the 2024 European Gold Young Rider Champion, Ollie Fletcher for Great Britain.
And this horse has picked up some good results, jumped a very good round in the first 4-star Grand Prix. Ollie there just giving him a little bit of encouragement that Noah has all of the ability, and Ollie is moving around the corner, trying to keep inside that time allowed. Jumps through the double well. Can he just keep him together before this is a little bit close?
Ooh.
Jumps well, move up on the 5.
You're really having to push and work there.
Jump that well, keep him going.
Well, I don't know how you feel, because I feel like I'm getting tense, because this could be our first clear, so...
Hold it.
Well, it is the penultimate fence. Those narrow poles that go. Disappointment not only out there for Ollie Fletcher, but also in here for Will. Just after we talk about the technical challenge of using those smaller poles and the yellow cups and all the different things, it's that fence that catches him out.
Funny, he was listening to us before the first jump. He jumped a super round. You'd have to be delighted with how the horse jumped. He did it very easily. Yeah, it's a shame not to be in the jump off. He'll be gutted about that, but no, a really good horse there for Alison Walton, who's been a long time supporter of Ollie and myself, and for him to be jumping these classes as easy as that, that's an absolute testament to everybody.
Yeah, especially with just the one down. It's a real shame, but I don't think anybody can take away from that wonderful performance, as that is the fourth to go as we go to the fifth, looking for that first clear. Well, we go to the first of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, third in the 160. A big Grand Prix here last week on Saturday. He's a Paris Olympian. He was an Asian Games gold medalist. He placed third in Riyadh in that Grand Prix qualifier, part of 5-star jumping, to end the year off in December with this gelding, Heartbeat W, Abdulrahman Al Araiji, Saudi Arabia.
That was a little bit forward into the double. Can he just get the rhythm back together? Little rub and the ox are coming in there. This horse is a big jumper with a very big stride. He's just having to really hold him down these distances to get it back, but still is clear. Be interesting to see how he is on the time.
Well, there won't be any issues with time here. There's 3 from home, but will this be the first clear? It is really positive. He leaves them standing, crosses the finish line, 73.38. Clear round, number 1, by a team and a man that is very much on performance. Abdulrahman Al Araiji, Heartbeat W for Saudi Arabia. That is what we're looking for, but also maybe we'll talk about the Saudi riders are just going from strength to strength over the last number of years.
Absolutely, they've got a really good team behind them. There's a lot here posting some superb results. His horse jumps super. It's such a big jumper, big stride on it, and a little bit out of rhythm to start with. He did really well to get it back together and jumped an absolutely super round to put him as the first clear in this big class.
Well, from one Asian Games gold medalist to another. That was picked up in 2023 for this rider. He also won His Highness the Amir's Sword in 2019 and 2023. That really prestigious competition here in Alshaqab in Doha. He was the winner of the Hampton Classic champion, won the Hampton Classic. He goes with this gelding that's 10 years old. It's Watan Quattro and Fela Suad Al Ajami for the state of Qatar.
And all good so far over that first double. Horse gave that fence by the in-gate an absolute foot. Jumping lovely so far. He's on good form today. He picked up a very good second place in the 3-star world ranking class to start the day. Just holds onto his head to make sure he jumps that plank there over the ox with no problem. Good stride round to the ox with 3 more to go.
Oh, there's so much support here. I can see members of the crowd that have gathered here starting to perk up in their seats. Could we have one for the home nation? 78 seconds is our time allowed, but a knockdown of that last fence, our Alshaqab fence. The front rail is down, but also over the time allowed. So a total of 5 there. Fail Suid Al Ajmi, where did it all go wrong?
It was such a shame. He jumped super round, but maybe knew that he had a little bit of challenge on the time, so cut the line into that last fence, just touched off the plank. It's such a shame for him there. That would have been a great clear to put the home nation in this jump off.
Well, that is how cruel this sport can be, but the riders know it. That is what makes it high stakes. As we proceed in this first half of round number 1, we need another clear to create that all-important jump off, and this young lady, well, she was 6th in last night's 5-star feature competition. A superb performance. Well, she goes this time with Action Man, and was the youngest ever winner of a Longines Global Championship Tour at the age of 19 in Roubaix. It's Anastasia Nelson for Monaco.
And Anastasia now has, alongside this horse, ESI Rocky, that will be in the Grand Prix tomorrow, and it's great for her to have 2 horses as well as a great string she has behind her, but this one has really put her on the world stage, jumping some absolutely fantastic rounds in some big 5-star Grand Prix, and they've become such a good partnership together. Everything going well so far, very smooth. Just need to anchor it up here for the 7. Touch of a rub in there, but stays up. Three fences to go. This difficult line. Good shot there. Will be a short 4 now.
Well, the time is good, but will the plank gets a rattle? It swings back and forth, but it's in the cups, and that's our second clear round. We have our jump off. Anastasia Nelson, Action Man, Monaco, joining Abdulrahman Al Araji. 2 clear.
That was a fantastic round. Everything was super smooth, and then that slight graze on that plank at the last fence. It was a little bit of a touch of luck, but she deserved that luck with how well she rode the rest of the round.
Well, again, we talk about the high stakes, we talk about the sport, we talk about the thrills, but that sometimes can be a little bit too much on the edge when it shakes like that, and just a moment, especially when it's the last fence. Well done to her as 2 through to that jump off. Will we get the Brazilian man also through? Marlon Mondolo Zanotelli, that's him. Ready and waiting for the bell and the 45-second countdown. He won the Paris Longines Global Championship Tour Grand Prix. He was a winner of the World Cup in Bordeaux. He's a 2-time Olympian, Paris and Tokyo. Double Pan-American gold, and was in the top 9 in the World Championships back in 2022 in Herring. He's based now in Belgium. He rides this mare. It's Charlie Hart, Marlon Mondolo Zanotelli, Brazil.
Over the first 2 fences, no problem. This horse jumped super round yesterday in that big 150 world ranking class, and it shows all its scope coming out of that double. And Marlon, obviously, such a great rider to watch. So smooth, he never moves. He keeps his position always so well.
Well, you've talked about the technical aspects of this course, but even just the magnitude of the stadium and even some of the design characteristics of the fences, this really is a 5-star show.
It's one of the best 5-star shows. They've done such a great job. This arena is as good as you get anywhere in the world, and the prize money is fantastic for these riders to compete for. This is a Group A ranking class, and looking like Marlon is going to be in the jump off of that.
What a round. Marlon Mondolo Zanotelli, as you say, making that look easy. He is so smooth. That's clear round number 3, and that is Brazil represented in the jump off.
Yeah, that was a super round. Marlon showing his class there, as he does on so many occasions. As we're saying, no, this is a fantastic setting for a big class like this, and to have so many weeks of top jumping, it really is absolutely brilliant for these riders here.
Well, plenty still to go. This is our 5-star jump off competition. A height of 1.55 m, 165,000 euro prize fund if you have just joined us. And not forgetting, we have our 6-bar competition coming up after this. But Great Britain's Jane Annett clears fence number 2. Regular Nations Cup rider for Britain, and based in West Sussex in England. The winner of the Hickstead Queen Elizabeth II Cup, and so far so good.
Yeah, and this horse has really stepped up over the past year to nearly be her leading horse, but she has another great horse in her stable as well that has really pushed her up and become again a part of the British teams over the past few years. This horse has plenty of scope, plenty of stride, and has started very well over this with only the last 4 fences to go. Just keeping tight there. This will be a short 4. She's working hard.
Well, a lucky escape at fence number 10. Can we get a clear for Great Britain? Yes. 75.42, no issues with time. More importantly, they're all up. It's a clear round, and Jane Annett secures her spot in the jump off. Clear round number 4 with J1.
That was a great round by Jane there. Excellently done. The horse jumped super. As we said, this horse has plenty of scope, plenty of ability, makes her fences look small. And yeah, that was great. Lovely to see her in the jump off.
Fighting Phil is a gelding, and it's by Kornablinsky, and that is next to go. But riding this, well, he's just a force to be reckoned with. He was in the top under 25 in the FEI World Rankings for 3 years in a row. He's the winner of the Brussels Stefex and an Olympic gold medalist. He also picked up a bronze medal at the World Breeding Championships in Lanarken. For Great Britain also, Harry Charles.
Yeah, as we know, Harry has cemented himself as one of the world's best. This horse, only a 9-year-old, stepping up to jump this big class here. It's shown plenty of promise, and I know it's one that Harry thinks plenty of. Really nice and smooth in there. Gives the horse plenty of time to bring its shoulders up and stretch for that back bar. Nice easy 7, and Harry giving it as much time as needed. A little bit tighter back to that double. But this horse is making the fences look very easy. Jump through that double really carefully.
Well, we're on a roll now, but of course this man will go clear if he leaves the last one up. He has so much skill, so much precision. He's nearly timed that absolutely perfectly. Fighting Phil, Harry Charles, through to the jump off. Well, they're starting to come now.
Absolutely getting a run of clear rounds now. But that was a great round. Harry, with a 9-year-old horse there, jumped it so easy. should be thinking when it jumps a course like this, as well as that, you'd be seeing that in some very big classes in the very near future.
Well, that makes it 5 clear, 5 proceeding through to the jump off. That, or those, I should say, are what has just been displayed on your screen. Abdulrahman Al-Raji, Anastasia Nielsen, Marlon Osmondolo Zonatelli, Gina Nett and Harry Charles, 2 through for Great Britain. Good odds for them as we go to a lady very much on form. Well, she was 3rd in last week's 3-star Grand Prix. She goes with this galley known by Bull Run Jumpers, which is based in Wellington in Florida. She was the winner of the 3-star 125 and then went on to place 5th in the 145 today in her 5-star jumping. This is a very impressive lady. It's Bull Run's Gira, and for the United States of America, Kirsten van der Veen.
And it's great to see her here. And she has been in winning form and had some great results. Interesting, Kristen has chosen to come here to be at this fantastic venue rather than stay in the hometown of Wellington, where she has jumped so much before. But she, when we caught up with her earlier, said she's absolutely loving it, and you can see why when she's picked up so many good results already.
And did I hear right that Christian is 9
horses here? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she's a very busy lady. But this being her top horse, she was right on the money with it until it just went a little bit wrong by the end of the course yesterday. But we're hoping that she can keep going the way she's going now. This is skipping round with total ease. Looking to carry on her great run of form. A little bit quick in there, this will be a shortfall. But it gets its shoulders up very quickly indeed.
Well, they keep coming now. It's a fantastic performance for the USA's Kirsten van der Veen. That's through to the jump off as well. Well, they are coming now. That's the 5th in a row, but these are all really, really talented riders and horses. So some of them can be expected.
Absolutely, it's great to have an American rider in the jump off. She's been such a competitive rider here, and she will be really wanting to win one of the big classes here.
Well, plenty still to come, and in fact we have remaining in this competition just under 20. Hassan Samterk, part of the Reisenbeck champs within the GCL. He was top 10 in the Grand Prix 155 height 2 weeks ago, part of this tour. Correction, he's the Reisenbeck champion of the GCL, but in part of the Istanbul Warriors. No comment to Septon Hassan Samterk.
Yeah, and that's a shame. Unfortunately, 2 fences down already for Hassan, and a 3rd. Not exactly how anyone wanted to have planned, but he's had some good form here in some of the big classes, but today's just not quite going his way.
Well, not to be for Hassan, as picks up a total of 20 to the last fence, but it also goes, and it is over the time allowed, so 24 for jumping, 2 for time, 26, no comment to Septon. We're just outside the range and scope of this height of 155 for no comment to Septon. Well, sometimes it's just not to be. We'll have to see how the combination does in day number 3 tomorrow. Well, we're coming up to our arena maintenance break, just 2 until we reach that halfway point of the competition. Next, My Lady La Vista. This is a daughter of My Lord Cathargo, and the lady riding this, well, that's Jana Frederica Meyer Zimmermann, based in Hamburg. will go next after a slight change up in the program. And that looks like Ibrahim Hani Bisharat. This is Leicester. Asian Games hero. He's 4-time Olympian. It goes with this stallion.
And a shame that vertical coming down again. It is quite a tall first fence, and if the horses aren't completely concentrated, it's very easy for them just to lay a toe on. I've seen that twice in a row now, but it's a shame to be out so early, but we have seen a good amount of clears so far, so the jump off is already stacked and looking like it's going to be a very fast one. Shame for Ibrahim, that fence, he'd be really disappointed with how well the horse has jumped since. Looking like we might get a few time penalties, but
well, that fence goes also, so to the last, and with one time penalty predicted correct, just ever so slightly, 0.04 of a second over it. It's 4 for jumping and 1 for time for Jordan's Ibrahim Hani Bisharat from Leicester. So we have our last one in before the arena maintenance break. A slight change to the schedule once again, or the running order, as we will take the option for a break after Jana Frederica Meyer-Zimmermann, a lady that won the Grand Prix of Aachen. Real highlight of her career for any German rider, really, to win the Grand Prix of Aachen. And as just like last year, the Doha Equestrian Tour, she is very much on form. She placed 5th in the 3-star Grand Prix, 4th in the 5-star Grand Prix last week. She's the defending His Highness the Amir's sword champion. Jana Frederica Meyer-Zimmermann for Germany.
And Jana's a superb talent, riding this horse, needing just a little bit of extra pressure. Just need to put a little bit of leg on coming in here. There was a margin of a funny jump over it, but not a problem. Opts with a 6 down there. And an extra one into the double.
Well, just about 10 seconds now to get home, so plenty of time as she comes up to that last fence. Yeah, of course she's done it. Time is good. It's clear round for Jana Frederica Meyer-Zimmermann, Germany. That is a lovely way to end the first half of the jumping here in the 5-star jump-off class, the height of 1.55 m, and that means a total of 7 through to the jump-off. We will be back with you in just under 7 minutes.
My name's Mark Simmer. I'm the FEI veterinary delegate here at Alshaqab Doha for their 5-star event this weekend for last week as well. Our role obviously is ultimately to maintain or uphold the welfare of the horse. We check all the horses when they arrive, check their health status, check there's nothing wrong with them, and then like what's going on here today, we check the horses before they compete. So again, we visually have a look over the horse, trot them up and down and check they're fit to compete, ready for the competition. Then throughout the event, we're regularly monitoring the horses. And also part of my role is overseeing like all the other vets they're working here. We've got about 6 other vets working here. So overseeing any emergency care that the horses need, sorting out anything else. If anything else goes wrong with the horse, if they get any little injuries, then we advise the vets what they can and cannot do and the best care for the horses. Got close to 500 horses here. They're all treated the same. Obviously, you know, the 5-star horses are here, the ones jumping the bigger tracks and the more valuable horses, but all the horses here would get treated exactly the same. And our protocol and our role as a veterinary delegate is the same, whether it's a 1-star horse, a junior horse, a children horse, or a big expensive 5-star horse. And even if we're looking at dressage horses as well as jumping horses, the role of the veterinary delegate is still, it's pretty much the same between the disciplines. It's great to have the opportunity to come here and to work with the Qataris and the other local veterinarians here. So yeah, it's a very special venue, and very pleased to have the opportunity to come here and see it firsthand for myself. This venue has seemed to have attracted some good riders and good horses to come over here. I think it's the first year they've done a really big long tour of 10 events, and it probably looks like it's going to only grow in the future.
second part of this
Assalamu alaikum,
competition,
welcome
and
back
we welcome the world
to the
number
second half
47.
of this first round of our 5-star jump-off competition with the total of 7 clears. Abdullah Manal Reiji, Anastasia Nelson, Maren Mondolo, Zanatelli, Jane Annette, Harry Charles, Kristen Van de Veen, and Jana Frederic de Meer Zimmerman. Those are the clears to date, but this man is certainly on form. He won the 4-star jump-off competition today. He rides Nicolaj de Music, Emanuele Gaudiano with this stallion. And across the last 2 weeks alone, he has had 11 top 10 performances. And also he's the winner of the LGCT in Mexico. Emanuele Gaudiano is a force to be reckoned with. He'll go clear, surely. Oh, commentator's curse.
Hopefully not commentating on me next time. No, it is annoying, that first fence. It is a little bit taller than you'd expect, and after a long break and you're waiting to come in, it's easily done just to touch that first fence off. But no, Emmanuel's, as you said, has been in some really good form. He always is. He's super competitive, always wanting to win, and unfortunately that's not going to be today.
Yeah, well, sorry about that, Emanuele, but I think he will be one to watch tomorrow in the Grand Prix for sure.
Definitely always competitive. Just gets the extra stride up there. Just very frustrating when you have that fence down. You'd be thinking as you're coming round, what could have I have done to avoid that?
Just really see him going in there, struggling a little bit with the reins, and then that refusal. Well, he decides to call it today. He's retired. Nicolaj de Music, it's Emanuele Gaudiano for Italia. Well, we will continue on to the next combination, and Vilma Hellström, World Cup finalist, former Swedish national champion, top 9 in the 5-star Grand Prix of week 2, part of this Doha Equestrian Tour. Goes representing Sweden, but based in Valkenswaard in the Netherlands. She rides 11.
This is the horse she jumped in the big Grand Prix last week. Another grey to add with a super horse, CC. This one, 11 years old and looking like it's ready to step up to the absolute top spot. Jumping really nicely so far. Everything is in a very good rhythm. This horse has plenty of jump, just needs to keep it together on the 7. Really nice connection there. Just how she's going to be on the time.
78 seconds is the time allowed. And she's caught out by time. Just under half a second. 78.45 Wilma Hellström, and Sweden. 1 time penalty there. That's her out of the opportunity to get into the jump off. Well, so unfortunate, but we need to get in under 78 seconds while keeping them all up.
Yeah, that was a great round. She was smiling as she came through the finish. Yes, of course, you'd be gutted to be only half a second over and cost you the chance of competing in the jump off, but the horse is getting you to this level, and it jumped that very easily, very well. It looks like it has plenty of jump and the right mindset to kick on a lot and be a a really good partnership for her.
Well, we're going out to the untouchable Scotsman. He is world number 2, but he certainly hasn't been second too many times here across the Doha Equestrian Tour. He is dominated across the Grand Prix. He's currently in the leads with 144 points, with Eve Jobs in second, 95. But this, the final week, it is looking good for Scott Brash to take the title. Well, he goes in this jump-off class with Hello Jefferson, and he knocks that fence for Great Britain.
And that's one of the favourites out. This horse jumped an absolutely super round yesterday, finishing second in the 150 class. And just one more there for Scott. He did give it a good go yesterday. This horse does know what he is doing, and it's a shame to not be able to see him in the jump-off competing where he has been so successful, and it looks like he is going to save him for another day.
Yeah, he has decided to retire Hello Jefferson at Scott Brash for Great Britain, but as I said, and as you discussed in the VT before, or correction, in the studio before, Scott is on form and is on the way to take that title if he performs just as well in the Grand Prix tomorrow. That is where we ask you to join us with a 3-star Grand Prix just after 3 o'clock or so, and the big one. €650,000 of a prize fund in the 5-star Grand Prix tomorrow night. He is one of the favourites, and if you were to go on the previous records, it's his for the taking.
Absolutely, but we know in this sport that nothing is ever certain. It is a really hard one to get to the top of the podium. Yes, he has made it easy in the past few weeks, but there are going to be so many people crying for that top spot.
Well, Nadia Peter-Steiner, she started her round, clears the second fence. Former European champion, picked up a bronze medal, at the European Championships 2017. As part of the Rome Gladiators, part of the GCL, clear round El Mondo, Nadia Peter-Steiner, Switzerland.
And this horse is an absolute superstar in the making. 10 years old, has jumped some absolutely brilliant rounds with Millie Allen before Nadia took over this ride. And she's creating such a good string of horses for her. This one very keen but super careful and so much jump. One you'd love to have a go at riding yourself. It is just always forward and just wants to clear the jumps. Has made this look especially easy.
Yeah, another one. This time for Switzerland. Nadia Peter-Steiner, clear round El Mondo, is through to the jump off. Well, very quick, but also a lot of scope on that one, as the jump off really shapes up to be some big A-listers in it and some wonderful horses as well. You talked about clear round El Mondo being the former ride of Millie Allen. Well, we go to Millie as the next rider patiently waits. There she is with Viraka PS. She's 11 European medals from juniors, young riders. She's done it all. She won the 5-star 145. She placed 4th in this competition, this very competition last week. She was 2nd yesterday in the 2-phase, part of our 140 5-star jumping. This is a superstar in the making. In fact, she already is a superstar. Great Britain's Millie Allen.
And this horse has taken over from clear round that we saw in that last round with Nadia to be Millie's top horse. Has had some really good results. 2nd in another 2K Grand Prix that really does stick out, and is a horse with plenty of scope and ability. She has jumped this in the 5-star Grand Prix the past couple of weeks. jumping the first few fences really nice and easy. Millie Ryder, the main rider now of Carol Cox, where she has stepped up so well over the past couple of years. Unfortunately, that plank coming down, that delicate plank, has not come down so often so far, and which is a bit of a surprise considering how difficult they can be to jump, but unfortunately just catching Millie out there. Just losing a little bit of forward momentum down that last line, taking that back bar with it as well.
Yeah, false dead for Great Britain's Millie Allen. Varaka PS not to be here this afternoon. Well, maybe just talk us through. It's bad enough getting a plank, but also fence number 7 is the additional, I guess, challenge for the horse, because it's a wavy plank. It's not really too common, but I have seen it across Grand Prix now in the world where that is becoming a sort of tool that the course designer can use. Absolutely.
You see now so many different things and materials that the course builders can use. The wavy planks there, you see they're very, very thin here, and it just can make the horses misjudge it just a fraction. They've been jumping it very well so far. That was a shame from Millie, but it does give an added element to the course.
Max Cooner on course with EIC Quantum Robin the 5th. Well, what a performance last night by this athlete. Won the 150 feature class, part of our 5-star jumping. He's had 5 top 10 performances over the last 2 weeks, including winning week number 1's jump off challenge. Max Cooner, Austria.
And this horse has been saved for this class each week, and he's delivered every time, being placed 3 times in the Friday afternoon jump off class. Just a little rub in that double. This, if he can get through over the last couple of fences, will be one of the absolute favourites in this jump off.
Well, he needs to keep the last one up, and he does so in under the time allowed. Good pace, good accuracy. Max Cooner on course to win another 5-star tonight, possibly. We will just have to wait and see in that jump off as he provides us with clear round number 9. Well, interestingly, we are now approaching into the final stages of the competition with just under 10 left to go. In fact, we have 9 left to go and 9 clears. We go to another young lady for Great Britain and an under 25 superstar. She goes with Stardust, won a European silver medalist in 2023, and she has a real passion for breeding. This is Sienna Charles, Great Britain.
And this horse, a former rider with brother Harry's, has been superb for Sienna since she's been taken over. Has had so many great results, has taken on some Nations Cup teams as well. This is a class they will have wanted to aim for. She's had some good placings so far throughout the tour. Super careful, jumped that double at fence 3 incredibly well. She just holds it round the corner, a little bit of leg over the top, jumped it no problem at all. A little bit of an extra stride up to the water tray, and it comes down for Sienna. That is a shame, as this is definitely would have been one to look out for in the jump off.
Well, that evening glow starting to shine across here in the Longines Arena of Alshaqab. She's 3 to go from home. It's a strong performance, but the water tray causing issues for Sienna Charles, and Stardust clears the last with tight on time, just in under the time allowed, in fact half a second. Sienna Charles in Great Britain, just the 4 faults. Well, we go to another rider for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Already has won through to the jump off, Abdulrahman Al Araiji. Well, this man has already been a winner here. He's won the 3-star 145. He came second in the 5-star 1m45 here today already. Had a hat-trick of wins last week. Picked up a silver medal in 2010 Olympics, and then silver medal and then a bronze medal in the 2012 Olympics. He rides this stallion as Brockman's Lord Prezi Jr. and Saudi Arabian Abdullah Al-Shabatali.
And Abdullah with 2 seconds so far today. He will be wanting to make that right and get to the top of the podium. Unfortunately not going to happen, just a little bit low going into that double.
Well, that is, when we reflect upon the starting list, you probably would have said Scott Brash, Abdullah and Emanuele Guadiano. And now just look at how quickly things can shift.
And that's the thing with show jumping, it can be so unpredictable. You never know the horse is going to come out, and it is just one mistake and that's your round done. It can be the smallest of mistakes, just a toe, and then you can see someone else hit 5 jumps and it all stays up, and you don't understand why that happens. But that's the sport we're in, and it's very definite. We know what's going to happen, and that especially being very unpredictable. I don't think Abdullah could believe he had that fence down. You saw him have that down and look back to even check before it even landed.
Yeah, you could even see on his face there before he raised his hand to indicate he was retiring, the disbelief and disappointment. Abdullah Al-Shabatali and Brockman's Lord Prezi Jr. But let's put him also in the camp of people to watch in tomorrow's Grand Prix, as we turn our attention to a French lady, Megan Mossigny. This is Coupe de Coeur de Meuse stallion, Belgian warm blood lady that finished 6th in the 3-star Grand Prix on Saturday last week. She's had 6 top 10 performances from last week alone, and today she finished 7th in her 5-star 1m45 1-round speed for France. Megan Mossigny.
Megan's a super competitive rider. This horse started out very well last week with 2 good placings. Plenty of scope on this one. Just a little rub at that oxer by the in-gate. Megan's just working to keep the revs up round the corner. Gave the horse plenty of space to the plank. Really well done, and just touch the back bar. Can she just anchor it back? Got a little bit of trouble here, but gets away with it, no problem at all.
A couple of lucky escapes as we can hear the little rattles from the multiple microphones placed around the arena, but rattle or no rattle, the only thing that matters is getting in under the time allowed, and all the cups, or all the poles remaining in the cup, and Megan Mossigny does exactly that. Produces a clear round with Coupe de Coeur de Meuse, clear round number 10.
Another great round to add to the collection, and Megan being such a competitive rider, she had so many placings so far. She's going to be looking forward to getting into that jump off and putting in as strong a performance as she possibly can.
Yeah, worth noting, we will discuss the jump off before we start and give you the idea of the track. Will, that'll be your job. As you did so well with the first round, you'll take us through the technical aspects of it. But for now, sit back and relax in the final stages of this first round. We're up to 10 clears. Will we make it 11? Well, next to take it on is Khaled Al-Mabaiti, Space Cake mare. That is 14 years old. He goes for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Placed second in the 3-star competition last week at a height of 1.40 m. But also this week, he's proven quite successful, just picking up the odd time fault in the 3-star jump off here today. 1 time fault, in fact.
This horse that was brought up to 5-star level by Ellen Whitaker to so much success, a good part of teams for a good few years, before it came over to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Khaled taking over the ride. But we know this horse is very competitive, very quick, and has plenty of talent for the top sport. And just as you say, that the front bar of the Oxa goes. Actually found the 5 a little bit long up to that fence, but it's not one we've seen come down for a while. I think Khaled would be a bit disappointed with that fence. Has jumped some of the harder parts really well, but unfortunately that front bar goes down and keeps him out of that jump off.
Yeah, over that finish line with the 4 falls. So Khaled Al-Mabaiti and Space Cake is not able to go into our jump off here this evening, as we have 5 left to go, 4 remaining after the French lady Laura Triba. This mare that's 11 years old, Catania by My Lord Carthago. A lady that won the 3-star 2-phase competition on day number 1 this week. She's had a fabulous week last week, including 5 top 10 performances in week number 3, but has been enjoying the jumping here in Qatar.
Yeah, and she has a really good string behind her, some lovely horses. This big jumping grey horse, she's jumped in a lot of big classes and it's been brilliant to get experience for her. Jumping a really nice round so far. A super round so far. Worked hard to get it back for that double of verticals. Work hard here. Gives it the time. She's coming wide. She should be fine for time, but she has taken a particularly wide line.
Clear out. Well, that's a super performance for Laura Triba, and Catania goes through to the jump off. That's clear round number 11. Well, we started off with a total of 29 starts, 11 is through. So good clear rate at the moment, but it is giving us a good opportunity to see some of those riders jump at this 5-star level in the jump off, and then give us an idea of what is yet to come in the big Grand Prix tomorrow.
Absolutely, yes, we have a few clears in this class. I think that's a testament of how well the horses and riders have performed. But what is for sure, we'll see a really exciting jump off where there's so much prize money up for grabs. Everyone's going to be wanting that top prize, especially when you have €165,000 up for grabs.
Well, if you won, you would walk away with approximately €54,500. How does that sound?
Need to get my boots back on.
Duarte Sebra going now for Portugal. Cooper LB, 5 top 10 performances last week, but also was in the podium position here this week already in the 5-star 150 competition last night.
And that is a shame for Duarte, just having the Oxo going into the double. Turned up a little bit tighter than most of the riders, but I think he had the time on his mind when doing that, and then into the double again at fence 9. Shame for Duarte, had a very good result yesterday, picking up some good money in the 150 class. And gets it home on the 2 down.
Yeah, 2 down, so 8 falls for Duarte Scheber and Portugal. So 3 left to go as we welcome the first of the only Danish rider in this. And this is Caroline Orehoff Patterson. Jack Ball is a gelding. It's the son of Chaco Blue. Caroline, the top 10 performance last Friday in the 145 one-round speed with this exact gelding.
Yeah, and Caroline, she's got plenty of experience now, jumped some really good classes. This horse jumped some very big classes as well with her. Big jumping chestnut horse. Just using the corner to get it back together. And jumps that Oxo with no problem at all. Just a little bit of the inside line there, keeping it together. Lovely stride into the double and gives Shaq Ball some time to come out now. The delicate blank over the top. 5 strides, bit of leg there. Big stretch over the Oxo. Now she's going to have to work to get it back on the 7. And she does very well. She's just going to have to be a little bit wary of the time. She is okay at the minute as long as she doesn't spend too much time over these last 3 fences.
1 from home and 1 for Denmark through to the jump off. Caroline Orehoff Patterson. That's clear at number 12.
That was a great round. She's absolutely delighted with that. The horse jumped superb. Looked effortless over some of those fences, and that's absolutely great for Caroline there.
Yeah, she celebrates there, as you can see. Well, the planning and preparation now for those 12 clears. We'll be turning to making a plan, having a look at the jump off course. It's concentration mode with big stakes on offer, big stake on offer, as 165,000 euro for prize fund. We go to Spanish rider Sara Martinez Cuyello. This is Piper the Vegas, Zangerside mare by Peppermill. Was the Spanish young rider champion back in 2020. Was 7th in the 145 Table A class, part of this tour for Spain.
And this horse was placed in the 3-star Grand Prix here last week. Sarah's an up-and-coming young rider. Has jumped to some good shows and put in some very strong performances. Getting all the training and experience she needs to keep rising up the ranks of Spanish show jumping. Doing well so far. Jumps through that double, no problem at all. She's just going to have to work it out here. Really good stride. Very good so far. She's absolutely fine on the clock, has plenty of time. She can afford just to keep herself straight here. Unfortunately, that back bar comes down following the style after. That is such a shame for Sarah. What was looking like such a promising round and in such a big class comes back with the 8 faults to finish.
Well, that's a tricky line, that final. The related distance of the ox are down to the vertical, but 2 down is 8 faults for Sarah Martinez Cuello. For Spain, Piper de Vergas, Z. Well, dare I ask, will it be 13 clears? 1 left to go. Only Edwina Tops Alexander can answer that question. Caitlin van de Hefnik Z, smeared by Chaco Blue. Edwina, also a rider, having a super rounds or super timeout here, part of the Doha Equestrian Tour. She was top 8 in that 3-star Grand Prix here last Saturday, but also this very competition last week ended up in 6th. She'll be looking to go 5 further this week. Edwina Tops Alexander, Australia.
Yeah, this horse is a lovely one for Edwina. Just had to put a little bit of leg going into that double, and unfortunately the back bar comes down, leaving us with 12 riders in the jump off. It's a shame this horse has jumped so many good rounds on this tour so far. Just Edwina did have to push a little bit going into the double, a little bit far off, and then couldn't quite stretch to get that back bar, but by no means mean to take anything away from this horse. He's jumped so many great rounds, including yesterday, jumped a super clear round into the top 10. Definitely looking like one of Edwina's star performers.
Well, 2 from home for the last rider of the first round of this 5-star jump-off class. Clears that. 4 faults then for Edwina Tops Alexander. Caitlin van de Hefnik, just that 4 to finish us off. And as you say, total of 12 then proceeding into the jump-off. That's over a track of 1, 2, 15, 8, 9A, 3A, 3B, 4 and 5. You don't need to remember that. We will visit it. 15, a new additional fence, and 3A, 3B. So we still have a double and a new additional fence. That's the takeaway from that. The time allowed is 53 seconds. But for now, pop the kettle on. Make yourself at home. Relax. Sit back as we prepare for the jump off. We'll be back with you in just under 10 minutes time.
is Salmin Sultan Al Suwaidi. I'm the sports manager in Doha Equestrian Tour. I've been a rider for 22 years, since I was 8 years old. And to be on the ground and managing such an event, 1 4-star and 9 consecutive 5-star events, is something pretty amazing. For the total of the 10 legs we have this year, we have prize money which exceeded 10.5 million euros. Alshaqab and the Qatar Equestrian Federation have been supported by the Qatar Olympic Committee for many years, and so we did a joint committee that supported this great event. So DET Doha Equestrian Tour is 10 consecutive weeks of great sport. We started with a 4-star event on the first week for the first leg, and then we continued with the 3 5-star events coming after that to the 4th leg of Amir Father. And then we're going to His Highness the Emir Sword. We have many good riders coming internationally from Europe, from America, and all around the world. Even our locals, it's motivating to them to compete against all of the great riders that are coming to Doha. We look forward to welcome all the people here.
Well, hello and good evening. The first round is complete. The rails have been reset for this jump off course. The margin of error has dropped to 0. There is a total of 12 combinations through to tonight's jump off. These riders committed to their lines, and we now have to execute them at a flat out gallop. Welcome back to the deciding phase of this €165,000 jump off, part of our 5-star jumping, with all eyes set on the man who won the competition last night, Max Kuhner. He's in the lineup as 9th to go, but also keep a sharp eye on young British sensation Harry Charles, an American powerhouse Eve Jobs, or even Kirsten van der Veen. Names that have been winning left, right and centre here in Longines Arena of Alshaqab. Well, we will have the technical brilliance of Megan Mossigneux for France, or will it be those with more experience? Everything is still to play for. The turns are tighter, the gallops are longer, and the pressure is absolute. Still with me in the commentary box, Will Fletcher will talk us through the course here tonight.
Yeah, it should be a very quick jump off this. 1 and 2 remain the same, and then straight up in almost a straight line to 15, which is on the left hand side of the double. From the commentary box here, it looks like a moving 8 strides. You turn right-handed back to the water tray, Oxer with the white poles, and then down to the first part of what was 9A. Can the riders take a strider? Can they get 6? Or will that leave them too far out to make a tight turn back to the double, which at 3A and B, which is the next part of the jump off. That carries on going to fence 4 and then to fence 5. And it'll be interesting to see how the riders attack that. Do they turn tight as they can into fence 4 and keep outside on the 7 strides, or do they give it a little bit more space around there and try and take one less stride down to the water tray vertical at the last?
Well, on your screen, that is the magnificent Alshaqab. Here in the Longines Outdoor Arena is where we will have tonight's spectacle. No easy task going first, but the pressure will certainly be on for the last just as much. €54,500 approximately will go to the winner. 20 nations we started off with, we're now down to just a few. None for the home nation here tonight. Disappointing, but so close by some of those riders. Some disappointing, or should I say, some difference of expectations in that first round. Well,
absolutely, a few of the favourites have dropped out, but we have a very good list. There's a few there that we know that can definitely go quick against the clock. We saw Max Kuhner take the win yesterday. This horse has been saved for this class. Can he make it a double of 5-star wins in the feature class of the day?
Okay, go on then. Who is it going to be?
I'd say the safe one would be for Max, but I love the way how Nadia Peter Steiner's horse Clear Around looked in the first round. I'd love to see her let the handbrake off in this new partnership and see how far that can take her. What about yourself?
I can't be biased. Yeah, I'll leave that to you. Well, the first one is in, and the time allowed, once again, 53 seconds. This is just a prelude to the 2 Grand Prix tomorrow. But this is just as much of high stakes competition than there will be as the crowd continues to gather here on a Friday night or Friday evening in Doha. As the weekend has started, the first one is in. It's good luck to all 12 of them, but the Pathfinder here tonight, riding this gelding, Heartbeat W for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, is Abdulrahman Al Araji.
He starts off in a really big canter. There's no inside turn back to number 2, so they have to move on around, take as little strides as possible. How many does he do up here? Went for the 9 there. Could there be an 8? We'll have to find out. He really attacks this oxer. And he bends his line back as much as possible to give him the best chance of turning back into this double. Really big stride in there. Takes a little hesitation, puts his leg on and doesn't quite get away with it. He really risked his stride into that double. He really attacked and it just didn't quite come off. But being first to go, you have to give it a really good go.
Yeah, he certainly did that. 1 down on the ground for Abdulrahman Al-Araji and 4 falls for the Saudi rider. That's a strong performance, but won't be good enough. Well, we'll just have to wait and see, but I feel and I know we'll have a clear round amongst the remaining 11 riders. Good talent from both the athletes, but also some incredible horses in the lineup here as well, Will.
Definitely, and the one coming next is certainly one to look out for, to jumping that first clear. Not always one to completely go against the clock, but it just jumps so many clears.
Well, as the lights shine down here in Alshaqab in this glorious setting, Alshaqab is not just an equestrian venue, but also an academy. And so many of those riders, the Qatari riders, will be jumping here across the 10-week series. As the entrance music plays out for the next pairing, and that is Anastasia Nielsen. Well, Anastasia goes with Action Man. Will this be the first clear? Goes representing Monaco.
This horse jumped an absolutely superb first round. As we know, it has won 5-star Grand Prix in Rabat before. Can she really push the pace and put the pressure on the rest of the riders to come? Trying to move around the corner, but didn't start as fast as wanted. How many strides can you do down here? 9 easy strides there. We'll see if we can get the 8. Lovely stride up to the octa there. Holds back on the 7, turning back into the double. A little bit off the pace of the leading time, but she has managed to keep the double up. Little bit close back here, but the horse jumps really well.
Only one from home. Will she keep it in the cup? She does. That's the first clear. The time there for Anastasia Nielsen with Action Man, 44.42. Well, that's how you do it. Do you think that time will be able to be beaten?
I'd say we'll see a lot of people challenging it, and we definitely have been able to see the time be beaten, but that was a really sensible round. She knows the horse so well now, put in a great performance, and I'm sure that'll keep her very high up of the lineup.
Well, this man that steps forward now in the Longines Arena of Alshaqab, part of His Highness the Father Amir's Prix of 2026. As this 4 weeks of jumping comes to an end, under these glistening lights, the concentration in his face as the 3rd partnership to go. What an incredible backdrop, what a fantastic arena. As the 45-second countdown is very much underway, it's Marlon Mondolo Zanotelli, Charlie Hart, Brazil.
This is one of the favourites in the jump off. Marlon can be so fast against the clock. Just waiting up here for the first jump, gets it jump, and how quick can he move around the corner? Sees a really big stride, he's kicking, can he get the 8 up here? Anchors up on the 9 at the end, but he's turned quick. Little bit close there. Outside on the 7, bends his line to keep moving. Turning back into the double, surely this is slightly quicker.
We have a split time. It is quicker. It's very quick. It's a new leader if he keeps that last one up. Yes, it's 41.02. Will, you weren't too wrong with that one. One of the favourites, and he's into the lead. 41.02, our new time to beat. Brazil's Marlon Mondolo Zanatelli, Charlie Hart.
What an exceptional round there. Marlon has shown everyone what they have to do to get into the lead. He chose the tactics of getting slightly the extra strides and bending his lines and cutting it tight. Will we have to see a change in tactics to get the time beaten? We don't know, but that surely was a very, very hard time to beat.
Well, now the first of two British riders, and they will go back to back. This experienced lady with J1, the Gelding rejoins us. And riding this is Jane Annette. She will have watched that performance, and as you say, may need to recalculate the plan that she's just, or was just about to do after watching Marlon's round.
Yeah, this horse will see what Jane does, or can tell from fence 1 to 2. Not always the quickest across the floor. This one, she's going to have to do something to catch up, but she also knows there's some really good money down the line, and the horse is jumping super and might just be her choice in the Grand Prix tomorrow. The horse is still jumping very good. Jumps well through the double.
This could be a calculated move. Opting for that clear round. Won't be in contention of the top spot, but the last fence goes. Well, the water tray, the pink. Oh, that's a disappointing end just when we thought the calculation of opting for that clear round. Jane Annette and J1, 4 faults.
And that was such a shame there for Jane. She jumped a super round. Maybe, no, you couldn't say she did anything wrong. It was such a tiny margin of error there. Just touched it off behind. Maybe the horse just thought it was finished. We don't know, but that was a shame for Jane, as a double clear there would have been a super result. And to be higher up the rankings, obviously what everybody wants, but turning our attention to the next competitor.
Yeah, with a time to beat a 41.02. Marlon Mondolo Zanatelli is in the lead. Second, Anastasia Nielsen with 44.42. Only the 2 clear rounds. One of the top international riders in the world. He is one of the best of the British. He's riding Fighting Phil. Harry Charles.
We know how smooth Harry can be. This horse, though, only a 9-year-old, but he was very smooth round there. Gets the 9 up to the vertical. This horse doesn't look to be as quick a mover as Marlon's, but we know Harry can pull a moment of brilliance out whenever is called upon him. He really angles that fence so well.
What an incredible angle.
He's going to have to do something special, though.
He's behind on the time. He is 2 to go. Clears it, but not quite fast enough. 42.30 into second place for Great Britain's Harry Charles, Fighting Phil.
That was an excellent round there by Harry. Yes, he always will want to win, but at only 9 years old, that horse jumped this 155 track with so much ease, so much scope. We're going to see plenty of that one in the lineup for many years to come.
Well, we're not even halfway through yet. What an exciting jump off here in the Longines Arena. As the 3 clears now, that is Marlon Mondolo Zanatelli, Harry Charles and Anastasia Nielsen. That's the top 3. The fastest 4 faulter is Abdulrahman Al Araji, the Pathfinder, 42.19. He had a really quick pace, just disappointing 1 knockdown. Well, all the way now to the United States of America. She has been on form all week, and in fact, for the last 2 weeks, of which she has come out to join us here in Doha. Riding Bull Runs Gira. This is Kristen van der Veen for the USA.
We We know she can be competitive. Talking to her earlier, she said she was really wanting to put in a good performance in this, and she has done already with the clear round. How is she going to go against the clock? Is she going to give it a really good go? She's moving around the corner. Lovely stride to number 2. Easy 9 there. She's motoring across the corner here. Brilliant stride to the octa. Bends the 7. Right on the right-hand side. Turning, moving. She is in touch. She is neck and neck with Marlon. Brilliant stride there.
Can she be able to do it? Will she? Yes. It's just over 3/4 of a second quicker for Kristen van der Veen. Bullrun's Gira is now our new leader. What a superb performance by the lady for the USA.
That was an absolutely superb round. Kristen there, you could see she was neck and neck with Marlon and just saw an absolute blinder of a stride to the second last. That must have cut out that tiny bit of a difference to put her into the lead.
Well, especially when we got that split time, and that's after jumping fence 3B, so the double. And we have an indication there, but as you say, even with that indication, that doesn't mean that that is going to follow through, as that performance just proves it. Kristen was able to cut out somewhere, maybe around that corner, as you say, and then the stride down to the final fence. But that is how tight it's going to be.
Absolutely, it's those small margins. Everyone seemingly has gone for the same tactics of tighter lines in the extra strides. It will be interesting to see if anyone can do the opposite, but I think most of the riders are opting for that strategy at the moment.
Well, let's see if this lady has a different strategy, or will she do something similar but move a little bit quicker. This 12-year-old mare is back in with us. It's My Lady La Vista, and riding this is the 7 to go in this jump off, Germany's Jana Frederica Meyer-Zimmermann.
And this horse looks like a very quick moving one. Doesn't have the biggest of strides. She had a really quick run there. She's got one extra stride than Kristen there. Really moving up to the octa. She's not far off. A second, she's going to have to really push.
There's an air of tension, there's an air of concentration. There's certainly concentration on her face. She crosses the finish line in 42.08. Clear on for Jana Meyer-Zimmermann. That's good enough to rank into 3rd.
Another great performance there. 3rd place, jumped very, very well, but it just shows how quick Kristen was over those last 2 jumps. That stride she had to the second last is going to be really hard to replicate. So the riders are going to have to do something special. They have to either do their best to beat them or try and do something a little bit different.
Well, in the top 3, we really have a second dividing each of those. So a second between 1st and 2nd, and a second dividing 2nd and 3rd. When we look at those times, but our attention turns to the Swiss rider, Nadia Peter-Steiner, Clearant El Mundo.
And this horse jumped an absolutely textbook first round. It is a very quick moving horse. Jumping brilliantly there. Really smooth across there. Really big stride. Can she get 6 down here? Anchors up for the 7, opting for the tight turn back. She's not so far away. Just 0.2. She's going to have a similar stride here. Great stride.
Ooh, slight rub of the upright. Will it be quick enough?
One left.
40.53. It is so close. But that super round by Nadia Peter-Steiner, clear round to El Mundo, is good enough to rank into second. Well, that is just 0.4 of a second slower than the leading time set by Kristen van der Veen.
Another super performance, and that was brilliant. The horse jumped absolutely fantastic. It looked great in the first round, but it also is a very naturally quick horse. Did the turns, did everything, only got beaten by a great round. You have to be delighted if you were Nadia there.
4 left to go. This is one of the favourites after last night's stellar win. This time riding EIC, Quantum Robin V, the speed demon himself, with Austria's Max Kuhner.
And he looks like he means business. Very tight round to number 2. That was really good. He got the 8 strides up there. He's really moving. He took the stride. And he was really trying to push there. Had to attack it as much as he could. Fortunately, the back legs taking out the front bar there as he was trying to make up that time set by Kristen van der Veen. One of the favourites to get out.
That's an unfortunate 4, as he also knocks the last fence. A total of 8 then in 43 seconds exactly. I would say if he didn't knock that fence right up until that, Will, he was moving the fastest I think that I've seen to date. He would have really went into the lead.
Absolutely, he'd have to have kept it on. Kristen was so fast, they all have been so fast, but he did get the one less stride up to fence 15 and then really attacked. But that is what happens sometimes when you start off so quick. You have a big boxer there that you have to respect, and it didn't quite get away with it. But we know Max, as we saw yesterday, can win any class when he wants, and he'll be one to look out for in tomorrow's Grand Prix.
Exactly, and 3 left to go. The Star Spangled Banner, the USA national anthem, is primed and ready to be played, but only 3 ladies can disrupt the top as they stand. Megan Mossonier for France with Coupe de Coeur de Muse.
Megan is a very competitive rider. She tried to go there but had to get a little bit of an extra stride. There, she's going to have to really work hard to make up the time. Just has to look after the front bar there. Just hasn't quite got into the rhythm that she'd need to challenge those top times, but the horse is jumping very well. Unfortunately, the first part of that double coming off behind, turning tight, but that is a real shame for Megan Mossonier.
4 faults then in 44.45. That is just the one down for Megan Mossonier and Coupe de Coeur de Muse for France. Well, a total of 6 clears at the moment, with Kristen van der Veen leading 40.14. That's the time to beat. Second, Nadia Peter-Steiner, Switzerland, 40.53. Third is Brazil's Marlon Mondolo Zonatelli, 41.02. Fourth, Gianna Frederica Mayo Zimmerman. Fifth, Howard Charles. And sixth, Anastasia Nielsen. To get into the top 6, 44.42. 2 left to go. We remain with the French riders. Française, Laura Treiber, Catania. Well, 2 left to go, with Denmark then represented. What do we think, Will?
I think this is a really hard time to beat. There will be a super performance from either Lara or Caroline to take that top spot, but we will see if we can give it a go. This lady jumped a great round in the first round, but hard to tell if you think this one can be, but no. First fence comes down. We did see that quite a lot in the first round. That is a shame. She jumped such a good first round there. Just maybe cutting across it a fraction. But no, it's a shame to start the jump off like that after jumping such a great first round.
Well, 13 will place in this competition, so those that are in the jump off are guaranteed a little bit of prize money. That might take a little bit of the sourness off that knock at the first fence for Laura Treiber and Catania as we come to the last fence, and clears the water jump. Total of 4 then, and a steady round is 48.73, ranks in the top 10 at this late stage. Only one person left to disrupt the placings. It's a really tough time, 40.14, as the Mission Impossible soundtrack, our team song, is played out here. It may seem like Mission Impossible for us, or maybe for Caroline Rishoff-Patterson, being cool as a cucumber, is ready to take this on. She rides Jack Ball back in with us for the last to go in our jump off, and not forgetting what is at stake: €165,000, with the winner walking away just under €55,000. Caroline Rishoff-Patterson, Denmark.
She jumped a very good first round. Can she really get up the gears and go quickly, or is she going to play it safe and opt for that double clear? Keeping smooth round here. Maybe one stride wider than Kristen, but moving up there very quickly. Great stride to the Oxer, having to work hard to get back on the 7. Turning tight, don't think she's quite in touch, but a very good round for her.
Well, over the last fence, the clock stops at 43.50. Noble round there, clear, and into 6th place goes Caroline Rishoff-Patterson for Denmark. Well, that concludes the jumping of this 5-star jump off. What an afternoon and now evening of entertainment. Well, it simply could not be beaten. 40.14 the time there for Kristen van der Veen as the winner. Bull runs Gira. That's the round that will really be something to look out for Kristen in tomorrow's Grand Prix as well.
Absolutely, it was a fantastic round there. We saw some really good efforts from Nadia and Marlon, who were at her heels. Nadia's horse jumped super, but Kristen, she is on some form. She's won so many classes here already, and definitely one to look out for tomorrow and for the rest of the tour.
Well, that does conclude, as you have the official result there on your screen. Just to confirm, 6th goes to Caroline Rishoff-Patterson, 5th to Harry Charles, Great Britain, 4th Jana Frederica Meyer Zimmermann, Germany, 3rd to Brazil's Marlon Mondolo Zanotelli, 2nd to Nadia Peter Steiner with Switzerland. But it's a win in tonight's 5-star jump-off competition at a height of 1.55 m for the United States of America, Kristen van der Veen. We'll hand you over to the commentary team in the arena to take you through the prize-giving ceremony. We'll be back with you, though, for the final competition here tonight, and that is the 6-bar challenge.
السيدات والسادة الحضور الكرام، سينضم الآن مع القوات الإنجليزية السيد فيليب لونجون الوقوف باحترام العزف النشيد الوطني للبلد الفائز الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية. يتفضل مشكور مدير التسويق والاتصال في مدينة الدوحة الخصوصية سيد عبد الله علي جوجو تبغى 55 تهانينا الآن المركز الثالث نادي التجاري. البرازيل الآن السادة الحضور الكرام المركز الثالث مارلون مودولو سيلتولي. الألمانية يانا فريدريك ماير زبرمان المركز الرابع. ألف مبروك. أيضا تهانينا للمركز الخاص المملكة المتحدة هالتشارلز. السادة الحضور الكرام من صف الآن أبطال في المركز الأولى سيدات السادة الحضور الكرام، في تمام الساعة 6:15 تنتظرنا متعة الإثارة، شوط 6 بار كومبيتيشن.